In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Vrksasana, or tree pose. And tree pose is one of those poses that sometimes are the poster pose of yoga. It's an excellent pose to really start incorporating that balancing aspect into your practice. So it starts at a physical level, and then you can take it further than that if you like. It's also a pose that will improve your physical balance, strengthen your feet and legs, and it's a great pose for confidence too. So I hope you join me and I hope you enjoy it. And here is our quick tutorial on Vrksasana. All right, if I am new to Vrksasana, I'll pick a spot in my mat near a wall so that the wall is just a hand distance away, maybe 2 or 3 feet away from the wall there. And I start by standing here in Tadasana, so looking down, making sure that my feet are right underneath my hips, so hips distance apart, so I don't have them wide apart and I don't need them to be very close together, just hip widths apart. I spread open the toes. I imagine that I have 5 toes on the back of my heels, and I spread those too, so the feet are wide and very, so we start this journey of really getting to know the feet, really using the feet to energize the whole body and to support the body, especially when you're just standing on one leg. So picture 4 points underneath the feet. So if I were to show you the bottom of my feet here, picture these 4 points here. So 1 here, 1 here, and these 4 points. And these 4 points are going to maintain contact with the mat. And also you would have your 5 toes that come out, and you spread the toe, and then you spread the toes in the heels too, the imaginary toes. So first we'll picture those 4 points, those 4 anchoring points where we press them into the mat equally. So if I have a tendency of standing in the outside of my feet or inside of my feet, I'll notice that here and start correcting that. So these standing poses are excellent for really developing the feet. Then you can lift the arches, so press those 4 points into the mat and lift the arches. When you lift the arches, you immediately feel, this rush of energy throughout your whole body, so you can really energize your poses in that way. And if you can see my knees here, so my knees here are just relaxed, and here I am pulling my knees up. So I can link a video below in the comments that show you how to lift the kneecaps. Pretty easy, and it really changes how you practice yoga. It makes your poses much more active, much more enjoyable. All right, and reduces a lot of different knee injuries. Okay, so I have my base. I have my feet, my toes are spread. Those 4 points are anchored into the mat, and I have this lift to my chest, almost as if I had this divine hand holding up the lungs. Sometimes a different imagery is your lungs are suspended as if they were filled with helium. So then you can lift the chest without this muscular strain. All right, so coming into tree pose, I want to make sure that I keep breathing. So I inhale. As I exhale, I can bring this leg up, and then just check the balance here. If it's too much to balance, you can lean back, but check on the feet. So remember what we just talked about, the feet. Press the 4 points of the feet, the foot that's down there, onto the ground. Lift the arches, lift the kneecap, and then bring the leg down. So we'll do it again on the other side, making sure that when you are holding your leg up, that you're not holding right here near the kneecap, but in the middle of the shin there. So bring the knees up, kneecaps up, so that you don't hyperextend the calf or the knee. Spread the toes open, breathe, and then bring the leg down. So you can repeat this a few times. You're getting used to this balancing for tree pose. When I bring my legs up to tree pose, I'll show you generally what we do just to get into the pose. So I want to avoid coming in tree pose with my feet on my knees. So my knee is here and the feet are right in that part. So that's, I want to definitely avoid that. So either you can be above the knee, or we can work on different things to open up the hips so that you can get there. Okay, but definitely not keeping the heel on that knee. So close this angle of the knee as much as you can. Bring the heel to the inner thigh, so the opposite inner thigh, and push into the inner thigh. The inner thigh will push back onto that leg, and you can hold on to the wall if you need it. And here you have your tree pose. So we're going to go into just a little bit of the specifics on how to improve here. But I have tree pose. So I'm pressing this heel into the inner thigh of my leg that's straight, lifting the kneecap, making that bottom leg very active. And then I can bring the arms up. I can also bring my arms behind me into Namaste. And here, really, if you can balance, that's great. If not, you can hold on to the wall with your hands. And really feeling how much work you're giving to your arches, really improving the arches, the quality of the feet, the strength of the feet, and your ability to balance. So here we can work on softening the eyes, the ears, the throat, and having this lift of the chest here. So it's a great pose to practice. Some days there's no way that you can balance and you're just swaying all over the place and falling off, and that's perfectly fun and fine. And sometimes we just start using the wall as support and then slowly developing that balance in the pose. And then if you are willing to try, you can lift your hands and you can close your eyes, and you can definitely see how everything changes just in our own perspective when we close the eyes, right? Because we were just fine balancing, and see how much we rely on those eyes to be open to balance. So it's a great practice sometimes. If you have a wall and it's safe, close your eyes and see where that goes, and see how you can start learning how to balance with the eyes closed. All right, and then we're gonna come down from our tree pose here and realign the feet. See the difference of the feet. See if one leg feels longer than the other leg. Inhale and exhale, and then practice the same thing on the other side. So now I'm just going to show you a few concepts of tree pose so that you can start working towards improving this pose. So we start out by coming into this Baddha Konasana pose where I have my heels touching and my legs out to the side like this. So when I'm in this pose, I can see that if I'm if I have very tight hips, my legs are going to be, my knees are going to be up like this. So I note this distance, right? So as I gain a little more flexibility in the hips, I notice, okay, I still have a whiles to go to the ground here. I don't have any support underneath the hips. So I note this distance. So when I am here in my tree pose, right? So again, I fix my left foot to the ground, I spread the toes, I spread my imaginary toes on the back of the heels, I bring the leg up, put some pressure on the heel into the inner thigh, and I notice that my hips were stacked above my ankles, right? So if I'm here, hips are above the ankles. So I have this hips that are parallel to the back wall, let's just say. When I come into tree pose, I notice that my knee is coming forward, and sometimes I want to bring that knee back. So if you ever hear the instruction, bring the knee back, be very careful, because if when you're sitting down in Baddha Konasana, right, on that pose on the floor, your knee was up from the ground, there's no way that you can bring the knee back here without the left hip coming forward and the right hip coming back, right? So the knee is going to come back as you have more space and more flexibility here in the hip. So keep the hips squared, so keep the hips parallel to the wall behind you. And here we work on bringing the knee, so pushing the knee out so that you create space in the groin so that the knee can start pointing down. So the knee here actually, it's lengthening of the knee out so it can relax down and eventually point almost straight down to the ground. So I'll show you a way that you can practice this to help with that. So come near a wall. If you have a corner, that's even better. So I'll show you on the corner. You can use a little piece of mat to pad that corner if it's too rough on your kneecap. So put the padding here on the wall. Stand close to the wall. Bring the knee to the inner groin, and then you can push. So with my knee, I push the corner away, seeing if I can create a little bit of space in the hip. So push the knee towards the wall, see if you can create a little bit of space, and then the knee will kind of just descend down, really giving you length here in the hips, giving you some mobility in those rotators, and more hip flexibility. So pressing the feet, not forgetting your foot, lifting the arches, pushing the knee towards the wall, creating space in the groin so that you can move that knee down. If there's a lot of tightness in the hips, you can do other exercises to release the hip so that you can have a better tree pose or a more open tree pose, right? So here you can also practice with just that knee, really pushing the knee towards the wall. You can do your other variations of tree pose. You can come with the hands behind you and really enjoy learning, at least strengthening the feet, learning the balance, and then eventually you can just push from the wall and try it without any support. If you don't have a corner, it's okay to practice with the feet just against the wall here, really pushing the wall away with your knees, creating a little space here to move the knee down. And eventually, when you have more flexibility here in the hips, when you can touch both knees to the ground in that sitting pose that we saw earlier, then the knee will move back. And then for the last variation that we'll work on today for a tree pose is come into the tree pose, and you can be near a wall and take a few breaths here. This is a really wonderful pose to do in a beautiful park full of trees too, and just balance. And then you can come into a forward bend with our modified Padmasana tree here. And then bend the knees, come up, back to your tree. I hope you enjoyed tree pose and that you can add it to your sequence and your practice whenever you need that extra, to explore the balance and to really sort of move through this just the physical aspect of the pose and start experiencing a little bit more too. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it. Just send me a comment if you have any questions. Thank you. See you in the next video.